Sebastian Vettel Martinez, MMAnytt, here in Gothenburg for Cage Warriors 93, where Søren, the true Viking Bak, faces off with Norwegian Alexander Jacobsen. So, your fight was scheduled to be on the main card, but then there was an injury that occurred to Kenneth Berg, meaning that you guys are getting moved up to co-main event now. Obviously, bad news for Norwegians, good news for you. Does this change anything for you? Is it just same fight, or how do you feel about it? Maybe more attention, or...?
No, it will still be the same fight. Whether you're in the main card or the co-main, it's just you get a little longer break before the action starts.
Yeah. Okay. And this is, I've been saying it probably all week, in my opinion, the most interesting fight on the card. Two up-and-coming Scandinavians facing off. I think most people are in agreement. The winner is probably not too far away from the UFC. Do you perhaps find yourself having to chill out a little bit, maybe just focus on the fight, or do you think about the long-term game as well? Do you think about, sort of a 5-year plan?
Yeah, we have 5-year plans and longer as well. But right in this moment, you have to be 100% focused. So that's really what I am. So, and what I try to do on all my fights is never to overlook an opponent. So, but that doesn't mean you can, have dreams and have plans. So, of course they are there, but for the fight camp and the fight week, there's 100% focus.
And you got some motivation as well. I mean, you got on obviously main event. You got Nicolas Dalby fighting, who went from Cage Warriors to the UFC, and I'm sure that could be a potential stepping stone for you as well. But first, obviously, you would have to get past Alexander Jacobsen. We spoke to him before. He said that he felt that it was like a striker versus grappler matchup. How do you look at him as an opponent? Do you feel like, yeah, I got no problem with standing with you, or do you feel like maybe you got your set game plan?
Well, we always try to be as smart as possible when we have these kind of fights, and when it is a clearly stand-up guy we're facing, we are obviously trying to utilize the advantage we have on the ground. So the game plan is of course to utilize that. That said, I don't think we would be afraid to stand for him for a bit at least. He got the knockout power, but I've got that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously we've seen a lot of finishes on your behalf, and we've seen just in general, apart from perhaps a setback against Alexi KV, just a lot of success from you. It seems like your career has just been skyrocketing lately. And maybe 2 years ago, we saw, oh, who's that Danish guy with a fur? Then all of a sudden, showing up in big fights. What exactly is it that happened? Is this just the way you roll, or have you perhaps changed some things in training to improve your career?
Well, actually, I think it's just been a slow roll. We always try to take the toughest opponent that we are offered. So I think that has something to do with that we gain momentum as we reach the higher ranks and still take on the hardest opponents we can find and take them out. So I believe that's the key.
Okay, and this is the second Cage Warriors event in Scandinavia. The first one was obviously in Denmark, which you unfortunately missed. But
I was there live. But
well, yeah. Well, you perhaps missed it from the best seat in the house.
Yeah. That's true.
So this is obviously a good sign. I mean, we see the UFC. They were planning an event in Denmark, but it fell through. Yeah. How important do you feel this event is for Scandinavian MMA in general?
I love when the big companies are coming to Scandinavia to promote fights, and it's good to also to show UFC that it can be done. They've obviously been in Sweden before, but we would like to have them closer at home.
Yeah. I'm from Malmo. I'd be down for Copenhagen. It'd be easier for me. So.
Right arena.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good place.
It is.
So, Danish MMA, I feel like it was perhaps a little bit on the down low for a while, and then it kind of exploded. You got Dalby coming in, Damir Hadzovic, Anna Elmos, and so on. Is it just like a matter of timing, or was there something that happened in Denmark, which is like all of a sudden we get all these top fighters coming out, and like obviously young talents like yourself as well? Like, is there a change that's happening? It's just like, or what is it?
I can't really speak to what really happened. There was a lot of guys from the same gym that just all of a sudden got the contracts, but Yeah, I don't know. We still got a few guys hanging in the UFC, so I'm rooting for them, of course, until I can get them in the system.
Yeah. And so, like you said before, it's a bit of a striker versus grappler matchup against Jacobsen. If you look at his ground game, I mean, he said he's always comfortable to go wherever. He said that you're always very comfortable on top. But looking at his ground game, do you see any dangers? Do you see like, okay, well, he calls himself a striker, but he's got a few hidden weapons, or?
Well, he's got some submission finishes on his record, but I don't think he submitted anyone of my caliber on the floor. Yeah. And also it's really hard to submit someone when you get elbowed to the face. So
usually,
yeah, I would say that at least. So we're not overlooking his ground abilities, but we definitely think we got the advantage there.
You feel maybe like pressure and ground and pound will be a difference?
Yeah, I don't think he felt the pressure I'm gonna give him.
Okay, and that's a pretty great quote. I think we got the title for the interview right there. Danish fans have been, very hardcore. We've seen it. We've commented on our site, and we don't, write in Swedish, but you got a lot of fans. I'm sure some are going to be watching this. What's your message for the fans who are going to be watching this either here in Gothenburg tomorrow or back home on TV?
Well, it's going to be a banger of a fight. So either way, don't miss it, don't blink, as Jacobsen said. So it won't be his right hand that ends this fight. It will be my pressure and my ground and pound.
All right. Well, great. I love it. I'm loving this fight, and thank you very much for taking the time. Good luck with the fight on Saturday.
Thank you.